Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for attending the opening assembly for Animal Advocacy Conference Asia 2022. We know you are all in different time zones, some that are very early or very late. So thank you for making the time to be here. As you may already know, Animal Advocacy Conference Asia is a platform where animal advocates across and beyond Asia come and learn together to build a more impactful and sustainable movement for non-human animals. This is our third conference, and we are extremely grateful for all the support we have received in the last 3 years that's made this conference possible.
Hi, everyone. So we have decided to continue hosting AACA online again this year, and we are so excited that those of you who might not have been able to take days off and travel could also join us virtually. As we are committed to ensuring accessibility and inclusivity for as many people as possible, we believe this format helps many to attend.
And now we know all the housekeeping rules. We want to use this opportunity to remember why we are all here today. We are here because we care about all sentient beings, and we are here because we want to make the world a better place. So please join us for a minute of silence. And if you are comfortable, please close your eyes. We remember those who are born into captivity and cruelty. We remember those who are oppressed under speciesism. We remember those who share this planet with us. And we are here in solidarity for those who want to live in freedom. We are here in solidarity for those whose voices are ignored even when they resist. And we come together for a better world for all. So let's take a moment of silence for 1 minute. I will let everyone know once the minute is over. You may open your eyes now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Mimi, and thank you for your cooperation, everybody. So I would like to tell you a little bit more about us and how we started, what we do, what we're trying to achieve, and what we're planning going ahead, going forward. So let me share my screen with you all. 1 second. Right, can you all see that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, great, thank you. So we are Animal Alliance Asia, and how did we start? So we started in 2019. Angel, my co-founder, and I founded AAA together after witnessing a lot of very culture-specific challenges that animal advocates were facing across Asia. We've just put a few examples here. So things like the term veganism itself, it comes from English language. And things like animal rights, animal welfare, all of these terms were seen as a foreign concept in many parts of Asia. And we witnessed a lot of bilingual advocates, including myself, just copying slogans and tactics that we learned from the West and doing the same thing back home in Asia, which weren't really making a real impact. And obviously, this is because of lots of differences in culture, like religious, political, socioeconomic implications. So Angel and I thought that we would really like to start an initiative where we offer a space for animal advocates to come together and learn from each other and become a better, more effective advocates together. So that's how we started 3 years ago. So for us, we see that animal justice movement across Asia is currently lacking culturally relevant training, resources, research, and tactics. So we see ourselves as a change agent in the movement, and we see our role is to increase local leadership and to build capacity across Asia. So this is our vision. and ultimate vision, it's a culturally relevant, effective, and inclusive animal justice movement in Asia with strong local leadership. So everything we do comes back to this vision. And yeah, we started as 2 people 3 years ago, and now we have a lot of people who have joined us. Thank you, everybody. We have now country coordinators from many, many different Asian countries, and we have a core team as well. So these are some of the faces of our team. So how do we try to achieve our vision? We have 3 core approaches. So we are trying to build culturally compatible movement and people power through training, conferences like this, and open resources and mentoring. And we also want to create a knowledge resources hub for local organizations across Asia. And the last one is also very important to us. We want to build solidarity and allyship with other social justice movements across Asia as well, and not just animal justice, because there's a lot we can learn from others. And these are our 4 core values at AAA: inclusion, nonviolence, anti-oppression, and openness to change and learning. These are extremely important to all of us at AAA. Everything we say, everything we do, we always come back to these 4 core values and make sure that we're not going far from these core values. Right. And what do we do to try and achieve these goals? So these are the projects that we're running at the moment, and we will be running soon. So one of them is this conference, Animal Advocacy Conference Asia, that happens annually. We also started our Animal Advocacy Academy this year, which some of you here have joined. Thank you so much. We will be doing that again next year. We have just started a DEI program in conjunction with Samayu. We've been talking about a DEI across Asia within our movement. We've just started a research project in the form of forum, which I'll be talking about more later. We will be launching an in-person leadership summit next year, which I'm really, really excited about. And we will be launching a re-granting program very soon to make sure that enough funds go into the local initiatives across Asia. We're hoping to start doing actual campaigns and projects on the ground in some countries next year as well. Maybe I'll skip these. Oh yeah, so the academy we did this year was in 5 different languages: Urdu, Japanese, English, Cantonese, and Hindi. And we covered these topics for our advocates, so about communication and social justice movements. And also we had some opportunity for attendees to think about their own ideas and how to implement. And we've had really, really good feedback in different languages, if you can understand them. So if you're interested, it's happening again next year. And this is a Change in the Narrative DEI talk series we've just started. And we've been talking about very challenging, controversial topics, but definitely very important topics to, someone has to talk about these. So we are very proud that we have initiated this talk. And as you probably all know, we will be talking about the findings from our forum research during the conference. So please do come along if you want to learn more about what's happening across Asia in different countries. There are really, really interesting findings that will be quite useful for your advocacy. And we will be launching our first in-person Future Leaders Asia Summit in March next year. And the application is now open. We've just opened it. So if someone could paste that link to application in chat, please. You are more than welcome to start applying now. This will be a 3-day event in Thailand, hopefully in March 2023. This is targeting current and aspiring leaders of our movement across Asia. And these are some of the organizations who have been supporting us. So if you are from one of these organizations, thank you very much. Thank you very much for promoting our events and being here. And lastly, these are social media handles. So if you haven't already, please feel free to follow us. We've got YouTube channel as well that has most of our past content as well from our conferences and talks. That's it from me. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ailya. Now, we want to introduce one of our collaboration projects, the Changing the Narrative series with some of you. We have Lennon, who has been organizing this series. Lennon, please take it away.
Thank you, Do. How are you, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Let me just share my screen. All right, so my name is Renan. I'm from Palestine, and I'm the project lead for Changing the Narrative. Changing the Narrative is a joint project between Animal Alliance Asia and Samayu. Sorry, everyone, my screen froze. All right. So Changing the Narrative is a joint project between Animal Alliance Asia and Samayu, which consists of series of events where speakers are invited to discuss how racial, gender, and other forms of inequities are affecting the animal advocacy movement in Asia. In addition to the talks, the event includes a workshop where participants join together to collectively explore how we can build mechanisms and pathways to a more equitable movement. The idea behind Changing the Narrative stemmed from the lack of opportunities for people to discuss intersecting social justice issues. And so we created the platform to do just that. Our project consists of 5 events, which we have 3 down. The 3 events that passed were completely in English, and we have 2 events to go. One of them will be in Arabic, and the last one will be bilingual. So our first event took place in July. We hosted our speaker, Kavita Krishnan. She discussed the interconnectedness of animal justice and human justice. Our second speaker was Dr. Ailya Dehqan. She gave a talk titled Decolonizing Veganism, where she discussed veganism as a social justice issue and how by understanding and undoing the impact of colonization, we can ensure to create a just, compassionate movement. Our third event was extra special because we had 2 amazing speakers. We had Dr. Krista Hedima, the Executive Director of the Greater Good, and Jessica Ava, the Director of the Pro-Veg Grants Program at Pro-Veg International. So Dr. Krista gave a talk titled Organizational Practices in the Animal Advocacy Movement, where she shared her research findings working with women vocational activists in Canada and the United States. Her qualitative feminist approach explored the experiences and the recommendations of these women through their experiences. Jessica Ava gave a talk titled Money Talk, Navigating Race and Gender Equity and Cultural Appropriateness in White Supremacy Funding Spaces. She discussed how the non-Eurocentric organizations planning to fundraise from the most common animal rights movement foundations might face issues regarding race and gender, in addition to culturally appropriate funding opportunities. Jessica offered a brief overview of common challenges and tips to navigate this landscape with strategy and grace. Our upcoming Arabic event will take place on the 25th of November, where we will have a panel discussion that consists of 4 speakers. One of them will be from Egypt, one from Morocco, one from Lebanon, and one from Iraq. They will all be discussing the obstacles and challenges that activists face in these regions in addressing animal justice issues and how to overcome these challenges. Our event's layout design usually focuses on workshopping with participants, as our aim from the beginning was finding solutions and not only discussing the issues. Changing the Narrative workshop series has been gaining a lot of attention and support over the past months, and we have seen a consistent number of advocates attending our workshops. For me personally, it has been really fulfilling taking part at these series, and I hope it inspires advocates to look at the bigger picture of things. Focusing on animal advocacy alone is wonderful, but sometimes you just can't escape the interconnectedness of issues, and you really have to take that in mind. So if you would like to listen to any of the mentioned talks, you can visit AAA's website or their YouTube channel, where you will find them there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. All right.
Thank you so much, Lennon.
Thank you.
And yeah. And next, one of the AAA member, Ailya, will be leading her poem. Ailya has experience in writing and theater, and she will be leading one of her poems. It's titled Hope for this opening assembly. Please all welcome Ailya, and Ailya, whenever you are ready, please.
Thank you, Do. So the poem is called Hope. Hope. The earth is in pain, the family scattered. Some crying, some fighting, some dying, some killing. The earth is looking for hope. The body is in pain, the heart scattered. Sometimes screaming, sometimes wishing, looking for hope. Hope is lost somewhere, hidden away, silently waiting, looking through the cracks in all of us. Hope is in each one of us. Thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you
though,
so much, Ailya. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kaho.
Sorry, though, you are on mute. You need to unmute yourself. Sorry. You're still mute. It's okay. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about the technical problem. That's so beautiful, Ailya. According to the comment box. Yeah, everybody have same opinion. It's beautiful. Yeah, and that's all from me.
Thank you, Ailya and Do. So next we have our keynote speaker, Seb Alex. So Seb is a Lebanese animal rights activist who creates content on social media and gives lectures on animal rights, ethics, and sustainability. Since 2019, Seb has given lectures in over 2/3 of universities in the Netherlands and more than 40 universities and schools in Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Spain, Belgium, UK, and Portugal, reaching more than 5,000 students between the age of 13 and 30. He's also a founder of Middle East Vegan Society, a nonprofit organization focusing on growing veganism in the Middle East and North Africa using educational and corporate outreach. He also has published a free book, When Animal Rights and Logic Meet, in 20 languages. Unfortunately, Seb has a flight today that he couldn't change, so he kindly recorded his speech prior to this event. So we'll play the video, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to type in chat. So Wendy, if you could start the video, that would be great. If you could please give it a second, that would be great.
We don't hear the audio, Wendy.
Sorry about that. If Wendy could add audio to the video, that would be great. Please give us 1 minute. While we're waiting, has anyone watched Seb's videos on his YouTube channel or on his Instagram? If so, please say yes. Yeah, I see one person, Joaquin, say yes, Brennan say yes. I think he's pretty popular in Asia and elsewhere as well in Europe. And he's going to be talking about racism. He has experience in animal advocacy space. So yeah, I think it's ready. Hope the audio works.
Subjects of animal rights. Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Seb Alex. I'm the founder of Middle East Vegan Society, a new organization concentrating on growing plant-based eating, sustainability, animal rights and veganism in the Middle East and North Africa. I also give lectures in universities and schools on the subjects of animal rights in a more philosophical approach and sometimes on sustainability as well. I want to start off by thanking the organizers of this amazing event. I'm so glad that this is taking place. It's very important, and we're going to be talking about why it's so important for these events to take place, specifically when it comes to Asia and places that are not considered, let's say, Europe and USA and Canada. I think we can all agree that in general, the animal rights movement, the vegan movement, is more in the spotlight when it comes to what's happening in Europe, UK, North America, and this is something that does not really reflect what is actually going on the ground. When we think about vegan activists, if we were to imagine a vegan activist, most of the time we think of a white person or just someone who comes from areas of the world where they are considered the global north. And the reason why this is harmful is because it gives the movement an unfair image. It gives the idea of veganism an unfair image, an unfair understanding. It makes it seem like that it's a concern of a specific category of human beings, which couldn't be further from the truth. And when a justice movement is made to believe that it's a concern of only a specific category of human beings, it immediately loses value. If we were to think racism is only a concern of a certain category of human beings, then the others might conclude that they don't need to worry about this. But of course, racism is a worry of all humans, and everyone should be worried about that and fight against it. But the same thing applies to animal rights. I also have seen from my own experience that there is some lack of support and coverage of what's going on around the world when it comes to animal rights. So just to give a few examples, or one example would be enough. A few years ago, there was a massive explosion in the heart of Beirut, in the port of Beirut in Lebanon. And the result of that explosion was more than 300,000 people becoming homeless, hundreds of people dying, thousands of people getting injured. At the time, myself and Lebanese vegans, a group of activists in Lebanon, started distributing food every single day for weeks, actually for more than a month. We were going out distributing food. What happened at the time was we were given this specific space to use to prepare the food and put it in different boxes and things like that. And we decided to start the world's first animal rights and vegan support center, which means it's a building made up of 2 floors. It's an animal rights center. It has a vegan cafe, of course. It has a library where people can sit down together and work and read books about animal rights and things like that. It has a workshop area, documentary screening area, and it has a small vegan shop as well that sells a lot of the vegan products that are found in the market, but at a cheaper price in order to make it more accessible for people who cannot afford to go and buy it from expensive shops. When we started this, there was one big obstacle, and that was the condition of the building we were using. The building hadn't been used for more than 20 years, so it needed some renovation. Another problem added to this is that people in Lebanon had their accounts blocked by Lebanese banks because of the Lebanese inflation. I don't want to get too much into the details. So even if you had a credit card or a debit card and you wanted to donate you could not use that card online. So when we decided to launch a fundraiser for the Animal Rights Center, we realized that there's a massive problem, which is Lebanese people can't donate because they can't even use their own card. It was very logical for us that if we reach out to vegan news pages and organizations that share awareness about what's going on in the vegan world and things like that, that a lot of them would obviously make posts and share our links and everything and ask everyone to donate whatever they can if they can. Unfortunately, we realized that there was not much interest, and that was really hurtful because we couldn't help but think if this project was somewhere else, it would have gotten funded within 24 hours. It took us months to end up getting enough funding. Of course, people from around the world did donate. I don't want to say no one did. We got a lot of support from around the world, but that was mostly thanks to my personal Instagram page's reach that it has. Not because vegan pages were interested in sharing it. I don't want to be too negative, but hopefully at the end you will see why I'm sharing this. We assumed that the rest of the world would care, but there was very, very little interest in helping us out. And a few other organizations, animal rights groups, did reach out and they support us as well. Very thankful for that. The reason why I'm not giving any names is because I'm not interested in pointing fingers. I'm not interested in putting blame on any specific person or group. Talking about the general issue here, and so I want to keep it general. And right now, the Animal Rights Center is up and running. Since then, we've also had the Lebanese hospital go fully vegan for ethical, sustainable, and health and pandemic prevention reasons. So all this effort ended up making this hospital being the first vegan hospital there. And that actually got international media coverage all around the world. And only when it got international media coverage did vegan news pages decide to start sharing it as well. Because up until then, they didn't really care. And I think this is a big problem because it makes it seem like, in the words of a fellow Lebanese activist, he said, it just feels like we're second-class activists, as in what we do here doesn't matter, you know? And I really hope that no one has gone through this experience, but I assume some of you have. And I'm here to tell you, it sucks, but it's not the end, all right? It's not the end, and it's not what defines us as a movement. It's not what defines us as activists and as animal rights groups. And for that reason, I want to talk about the importance of building a community, because when you have community, you have support. When you have good activists alongside you, helping you out, being part of your projects, you're going to have the type of support that no one else can offer to you. And is it the case that what happens in other areas of the world, such as Europe and North America, gets more attention? 100%. That is the case. But I personally don't like concentrating on the negative and constantly talking about ourselves as victims. You know, as a non-white person, I grew up in Lebanon. I'm obviously not a white person. You can see, I can look at in the screen, I'm not white, I'm quite brown. But I've experienced racism. I still experience racism because of that. And I don't like identifying myself as a person who is a victim of racism. I don't like thinking about my nationality or race or whatever as a source of what causes me problems and racism, because I don't like identifying as a victim. It doesn't empower me. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It doesn't make me feel good about the effort that I'm trying to put in. I like to think of myself by concentrating on the things that I have achieved rather than the problems that I have that are caused because of things I can't control, such as the color of my skin. And of course, there's a lot of racism around the world. There's a lot of racism against Asian people who are based in other sides of the world and within countries as well. And I want to encourage you to not let that define who you are, to overcome this. Let's keep in mind that veganism belongs to everyone. And just because you are not based probably in North America or Europe doesn't make you less of an important activist. You are just as important as any other activist around the world who is speaking about animal rights. And It's very, very important to build strong communities, because in times when you don't get the support you wish you could get from somewhere else, you need the community around you to remind you that they are here for you and they are helping you, and you're working on these things together, and you will get things done the way you want to. You will face struggles, you will face difficulties, but that does not define your activism career, let's say, your activism efforts. What matters is the intention you have. What matters is how often you're taking a pause and thinking, okay, how effective have I been throughout the past 6 months, throughout the past 12 months? Those things matter. It matters to when you take a pause and check what were the results of what you've done. And every time you do that, you are able to check, okay, what mistakes did you make? Because to think that we can all be activists and not make any mistakes is a massive illusion. No one really knows how good we can be. We can only try, and then by looking back at the results, think, okay, we can be better than this, we can do this, we can do that. But no one really knows what is the perfect way of activism. And that's why I personally believe that there's no one perfect way. There's the one perfect way for each individual, but not to one thing that all activists can do at once. So keep this in mind. Please remember to always have open communication with each other as activists, as communities, to reach out to other communities and collaborate. For example, I am from the Middle East and I was invited to speak at this conference, and it means so much to me. And I think building these bridges are very important. We often think about and take action in building bridges with other social justice movements, which I personally believe is a very important thing. But it's also important to do that within our movement. Let's not forget that we all exist in different sides of the world. And let's not forget that even though the media has somehow twisted veganism to be this trendy, middle, upper class, what people think, that's just not the case. Veganism is a movement of justice, and we are part of it for the ethics, because we oppose the injustice that is inflicted against other animals simply because of the species that they belong to. So thank you again so much for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone who joined to watch this. Small reminder to have patience, stay strong, communicate openly, and keep your head up. Don't let your difficulties define you, and keep fighting for animal rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, for playing that video. And let's give a round of jazz hands. He's not here, but he will see the recording. It was really great to hear other activists in Middle East talking about racial inequity in the animal advocacy space. And I really relate to the importance of making community and network of activists to support each other. So I'm really, really glad for all of us to join, all of you to join us here today. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, if you like to leave comments in the chat, please do. I will share those with Seb later. Yeah, questions or comments. Great. So moving on to the next item, we would like to share our timetable with you, our daily lineups for the next 4 days, including today. So Wendy, if you could again share the screen, that would be great. Thank you, Wendy, for playing that video. I hope you get a gist of what will be happening in the next 4 days, including today. We have another session after this opening assembly, so please keep in mind that all the times are in Hong Kong time. You can check your time with the link pasted in the chat. All the PDF, the timetable in PDF is also in the chat, so please save that to remind yourself which workshops you want to attend and when it's happening. So I think we actually have Seb with us. Seb just joined from the airport. Seb, if you could maybe, hi. Thank you for joining.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we
I'm good,
can
thank
hear
you.
you. Yeah, we just watched the video and there were some positive comments. So I'm just gonna read them for you.
Sure.
So Fajar said, Seb always makes great points. He can't concur more with everything he's saying in this video. Another person from Indonesia said, it was his first time hearing Middle East vegan community. By the way, he agrees what you said. Keep the spirit, brother, even there is some struggles. There were so many great comments that I can't probably get through all of them. There's another person saying having an animal rights center in, I think, Middle East, he meant, seemed amazing. While dreaming is free and dreams do come true. So yeah, I think we loved your video. Thank you so much for recording the speech. If anyone has any question, now is your time. Would you like to say a few words, Seb?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to apologize for not being able to do it live. I would have loved to, but it was impossible with the flight that I had to take. But I'm glad I was able to join now if there are any questions. And I wanted also to thank you and the organizers of this event for putting it up. It's very important for the reasons that I mentioned in the video. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Great, thank you so much. At the moment, I think we only have very positive comments saying very inspiring. People loved it. No questions so far. So if you can stay, please stay. And if anyone wants to add a question in the chat, I think Seb can answer it there.
Okay.
Thank you so much again for joining from the airport.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to the next item, which is the Planet A screening. So Gulam.
Hi, great. Am I up? Fantastic. Thanks so much. So I think we're just going to also get Haru up as well. So fantastic, great. So now we'd like to introduce Haru. So Haru is a director of a music video collection titled Planet A. Haru is an activist who fights for liberation for all by fiercely revealing his transgender queer identity and experiences of being foreign, homeless, and a woman. Haru was also one of our conference participants from last year, and we are so happy that we were able to spotlight Haru's work today. So everyone, can you please give Haru a nice warm jazz hand welcome? And Haru, thank you so much for being here. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and also about Planet A?
Hi, I'm Haru. Thank you for introducing me. I'm Haru, a nomad activist currently living in Seoul. Can you hear me? Okay. Last year I came to Korea. I made a film called Planet A, which is kind of experimental musical documentary. I produced an original soundtrack album first with a lot of Korean bands and singer-songwriters, such as Naka, who is gonna perform later. Yeah, and I also participated in few songs. So we created total 15 songs. Then I made each music video and put it all together. Yeah, rather than just showing cruel footage or giving information, I thought when it comes through music and art, people can actually feel how those issues are connected to their life and why this animals' liberation is important to their self-liberation. So yeah, I made this film for the people to confront the truth easier, for other social justice movement to acknowledge our connection in solidarity, and for activists to feel empowered. Today, I will present one of the music video called Whole. Yeah, and we will watch it together, and then I will share the link that you can access to the whole film. Yeah. Yeah, after that, if you have any question, or if you want to invite me to your town to show this film or something, please let me know. Thank you so much.
Great. So thank you, Haru. And Haru just mentioned now we're going to play one of Haru's videos from the series Planet A entitled Whole. And if you do have any comments while you're watching or any questions, please type them in the chat. And then when the video finishes, we'll be able to address them, and then we can do a raise hands and you can ask Haru any questions you'd like or make any comments as well. So over to Wendy. Wendy's going to play the video for us. So once again, this is Whole.
이곳에는 사랑이 없어 이곳엔 나도 없어 날 깨우는 해가 없어 나 재우는 달이 없어 나는 돈이요 갈려 죽지 않은 몸이요 부리를 잘린 꿈이요 나는 구멍이요 알이 나오는 구멍이요 쓸모가 없는 날개요 나는 고기요 아니 강아지의 먹이요 아니 아무것도 아니요 나는 병이요 너를 위협하는 병이요 사라지는 게 삶이요 지워지는 존재요 나를 만들고 나를 구멍으로 만들고 나를 돈으로 만들고 아픈 나를 묻어버리고 오늘도 알이 생기고 내일도 알이 생기고 당신은 우리를 알고 계십니까?
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you, Wendy, for playing that. Wow, Haru, such a thought-provoking and powerful piece of work. And I've watched this now a few times, and each time I always find something new or a new layer. So thank you for creating that. And I just want to read some of the comments that we were receiving in the chat. And they're all just really very positive as well. So Neon says, so deep and impactful. Kendrick mentions that the song is so deep. In a shared 3 black hearts. I hope that's a good thing. Rajiv, if I'm pronouncing that right, said, wow. Yeah, you can probably all see in the chats, the comments, which are just coming flooding through now, that everyone feels that this is just amazing. It's very moving and makes me feel so emotional. So I think you have definitely touched something amongst all of us with this beautiful piece of work. So I do want to thank you for creating that and for sharing that here with us today. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to, if that's okay, I'm going to copy the link to this video series into the chat so everyone can also access it as well. And
yeah, so you can.
Yep. Yes, Aria?
Yeah, so yeah, so this is 74-minute film, the whole thing. Yeah, I really recommend everyone to watch it, and it will be opened for only today and tomorrow. So yeah, please watch it and let me know how you think. And I would like to share one more link for the soundtrack album streaming. Yeah, so you can here or any other streaming site, you can listen the whole music, and all the streaming income will go to donate to DXE Korea. Yeah, and I also thank you. And I'm also looking for the good way for distribution of this film. Yeah, so if anyone have idea, please let me know. Yeah.
Great.
On
That's
this YouTube
wonderful.
link, yeah, in the YouTube link, there is my contact information. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Haru. Yes, we've shared the link to that. So if you do want to support Haru's work as well, we're including the link to Haru's PayPal. So if you'd like to make a donation, and also the link to the series, which is Planet A, which is the YouTube link, so you can get all Haru's details there as well. So thank you so much, Haru. Everyone, let's give Haru a round of jazz hands. And yeah, fantastic. Great. Thank you so much again. And please keep the comments coming. Haru is going to be joining us for the rest of the session. So if you do want to communicate and share your thoughts as they come rolling in, please use the chat. Lovely. Thanks. Over to you, Kao.
Thank you, Gulam. Thank you, Haru, for the amazing work that you are doing. I'm so glad that we were able to highlight your work today at the opening assembly. Okay, so now we'd like to move into our project announcement section. As you all know, there are so many incredible initiatives happening across and beyond Asia, and we want to dedicate some time highlighting some of those initiatives. Today, we have Plant-Based Health Justice Project, Potekoro and Friends Sanctuary Project, Vegan Kids Project, and China Vegan Society to speak about their project. So we're supposed to have Layla to speak about her plant-based health justice project, but unfortunately, due to her personal circumstances, she won't be able to join here with us today. So I'm just going to read the description of that project. So all systems of oppressions are interconnected. We can't pick and choose only one issue while ignoring the other oppressions that are happening. In order to create long-lasting systemic change, everything we do needs to be rooted in justice. Without it, our actions will come from ego, even if they may look selfless. To bring about justice, we need to incorporate anti-oppressive practices in all stages of our activism, from thinking and planning to taking action. The plant-based health justice aims to work with marginalized vegans and vegans of the global majority to find ways to do justice together. So I think Ailya just pasted the link to her website, Plant-Based Health Justice Project. So if you are interested and keep being updated, please check that website. And I think you can also subscribe to her newsletter as well. So next we have Potekor and Friends Sanctuary Project. The founder of this project, Yumi, will be presenting this project. Are you ready to present, Yumi?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us today. So I'm gonna share screen to everybody. I'm sorry, 1 second, please. Oh no. I'm sorry, I don't know how to.
Do you have the option to share the screen?
Yes.
Are you able to select the PowerPoints that you have open?
I'm sorry, my settings something weird today.
Okay. While you're setting it up, maybe we can play the next project.
Yeah.
So Vegan Kids
Okay.
Project.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Chiharu, who started the project with other friends, she won't be able to come here today, but she recorded her project prior to this. So we're gonna play the video. So Wendy, if you could start that would be great.
Hi everyone, my name is Chiharu. I'm an animal rights activist. So today I'm going to talk about my new project called the Vegan Kids Project. First, just a little bit about myself. So my name is Chiharu. I'm the co-organizer of Toronto Chicken Save. I'm actively involved in animal rights activism happening in Toronto, such as outreach, protests, marches, and so on. So through all the experiences, I have always had the ideas to bring activism as education in a child-friendly way. Last summer, I took the Animal Advocacy Academy, where I learned effective communication skills, how to specify targets, how to build effective strategies, and so on. Also, I was able to meet Japanese activists who fight for animals in Japan. And I was able to put my ideas all together into this project, which is called the Vegan Kids Project. So the Vegan Kids Project is a project to give vegan education to children in Japan. Vegan education can be, for example, the definition of veganism, understanding speciesism, practical vegan lifestyles. In the Western countries, it is quite easy to find vegan picture books, or sometimes children have the opportunity to try vegan challenges as a school project. Also, vegan options are pretty much available everywhere at the restaurants. In Japan, the vegan community is slowly growing. However, there are lack of resources about veganism for children. And there are many activism happening as well. However, those are often mainly focused on targeting adults. So that sometimes the resources, or mainly the resources are resources about veganism are often not age appropriate. But I believe that the children are naturally compassionate and care about animals. So this is why I started the project. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but so I remember when I was a child and when I found that the bacon is a pig, I was really upset. But my parents or teachers, they all told me that I had to eat. And to grow up and to be healthy. And I didn't know that there was another option. But so was my parents, so was my grandparents. We all learned that we had to eat animals because there was no vegan education accessible to us. But I remember I had the feelings. I didn't care about the animals. So I was made to forget about the feelings. So children are taught to contribute to animals exploitation without understanding what it really means and don't learn that there is another option. But imagine when a child says, I don't want to eat bacon. If we all can tell them, well, you care about animals, you're kind, you're compassionate, because you have a beautiful heart. We can grow the compassion, which they already have, rather than taking away. So what do we do? First of all, the project is still very new. So the first I started Instagram. In the account, I talked about definition of veganism, explaining about livestock animals, and shared some nutrition tips, and so on. In the future, we would like to publish a picture book for children aged 4 to 8 years old, and get the restaurants to carry our books. So at the restaurant, children and their parents can learn about what's happening to animals, but at the same time, they can experience delicious plant-based food. So they will understand veganism and what being vegan is like through learning and experience together. And since they're enjoying the plant-based food, they will understand that the vegan lifestyle is accessible and doable to them. Furthermore, I would like to offer a vegan educational course for children where they can learn about veganism, animals, and cooking and so on. So I hope that Vegan Kids Project will bring many children education and help them to grow compassion as well as veganism in their heart. For anybody interested in the project, the Instagram account is a Vegan Kids Project. So I would really appreciate if you could support and follow. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you for Chiharu's not here today, but I think she will watch the recording after. So I just want to say thank you for Chiharu for recording this her project, and I think we have a really positive comments as well. We have someone said that they would love to see the Vegan Kids books project, and someone also said that they were motivated to start something too. So thank you, Chiharu, so much for recording this and starting the amazing project. So Yumi, if you're ready, if you could present your project, that would be great.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna screen share now, and I'm gonna introduce about our project. Okay, so can you see this? Thank you. So I have the project, a Potecoro and Friends Sanctuary project. Thank you for having us for this amazing conference today. I'm learning a lot so already. So at first, a quick introduction about myself. I've been vegan for 10 years and I have 2 vegan kids. While I was nursing my baby, I couldn't stop crying, thinking about the situation that mother cows and their calves face. As you may know, they are separated immediately after birth, like that. I began to think about how I can change this to stop crying and start taking action. And I started an online community group called Veggie Mama. Alone, I can only do so much, but together, our group can make a real difference more. So can you imagine a compassionate and sustainable world where people, animals, and nature all coexist in peace? The goal of this project is to create a world like that together with your help too. And we would like to safeguard and create an animal sanctuary and new kind of farm for the next generation. It will be a great example to the world of what a sanctuary for cows and sustainable farm can be. A farm where people, nature, and animals have a symbiotic relationship and not the common relationship where animals are exploited. So it all starts from one cow. From there, we hope to scale the project up, but we must take this first step. It has only a few sanctuaries in Japan so far, so it's a big first step, I believe. And this is Potekoro, the cow. I met her caretaker, Minami-san, who grew up on a dairy farm and later turned vegan. Potekoro was almost, can you see slide? Can you see Potekoro now?
No, the slide is just posed on the first like a title page.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's
So,
okay. Do you want to maybe close it first and then reshare?
Yes.
Thank you everyone for your patience. I just wanted to,
Sorry.
oh, there we go.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so this is a Potekoro. Okay, so I continue. Thank you for waiting. So Potekoro was almost sold to Slug House, but we decided to work together to save her from the terrible fate. My group, Veggie Mama, has been supporting Potekoro's food expenses since January this year. Oh no. Sorry, what's happening this? So we had hoped to have time to raise large enough funds to transition Minamitsu farm to a sanctuary. But the daily recession in Japan has forced her family to close the farm and sell all of their cows by the end of this year. We have less than a few months to find a new home for Potekoro. But luckily, we met our collaborator for this project, Miss Tani. She runs the Momu Garden in Fukushima, a sanctuary for 11 cows that survived the earthquake of 2011. And this is sanctuary, but some people had not good image for the words vegan or sanctuary in Japan. So they are choosing words for all the local people and government to get good relationship. So using like environment conservation by cow. Then because of local government regulations, Momu Garden is unable to accept any additional cows. So we need a new place for the Potekoros. Then currently we are obtaining the land without a fee because it will restore abandoned farmland. But we still need help raising the startup funds. Since we are planning to have lands that are large enough for several cows to live, it is likely that we can rescue another cow from Minami's farm. It just depends on how much funds we can find. And today, we launched the GoFundMe page, actually. Any donation you make will go towards setting up the facilities like fence around the land, cow shed, transport of cow, winter time hold expensive. Initial funds are required, but once we establish the basic necessities for this sanctuary, the cows will be able to live freely and with very little operating costs. Ms. Tani has 10 years of research experience. The cows can survive by consuming natural vegetation in abandoned farmland, which will also be beneficial for the land. Thanks to the cows, vegetable and fruit will grow back and be easily harvested using natural farming method. By saving even just one cow, we can work towards creating a world that is compassionate to humans, animals, and environment. So thank you so much for your interest to our project and supporting Protocol together. With your help, we can make Protocol and Friends Sanctuary a reality. And I'm gonna study more with this conference and try to make this happen too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for presenting your work and doing such an amazing initiative in Japan. I think it's such a very needed kind of project right now. So thank you so much for all the work that you put into this. And I also wanted to let everyone know that the one project before that we just watched, the Vegan Kids project, actually came out of Animal Advocacy Academy that we did this summer. So we're really grateful to for our Academy graduates to start their own new project based on what they've learned from our Academy. So if you're interested in joining our Academy next year, please check out our social media, subscribe yourself to our newsletter as well. Yeah, thank you so much. So next up, we have Carrie from China Vegan Society. If you're ready to present your work.
Okay, let's see. So share screen. Am I a co-moderator now?
I think so.
Okay, so I can share.
Do you see the option?
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, and now I'll turn on the slideshow. Is it working? Oh, okay, slideshow. All right. Okay, here we go. Hey everybody, so my name is Carrie. I'm International Communications Coordinator for the China Vegan Society. And it's really exciting to be at the Animal Advocacy Conference Asia. I love all the projects everyone's shared. It's really exciting to see all these different approaches. And what we do, we were established under the China Biodiversity Conservation and Green Development Foundation in 2021. So we've only been around for a little over a year, about a year and a half now. And we've launched a bunch of projects with the goal of making veganism mainstream in China. The first thing we did is actually kind of have to find a word for vegan in Chinese, because that was a bit of an obstacle. There's a word that a lot of people that's almost always used for vegan in Chinese, but it's a bit ambiguous, causes a lot of confusion, and it's got roots in religious usage. So we chose a word that's more inclusive and secular. It's an ancient Chinese character. It's kind of been forgotten. So it's this character here. It's called Mang, and it's made with four little pieces of grass. And this is the character that the China Vegan Society has put forward as representing veganism and not just a diet of plant-based food. So we have a bunch of projects. We kind of launched a bunch of projects at once in our first year. One of them is a grant program. So we offer funding to grassroots advocates in China who are launching projects. The first funding recipient is, he does kind of, what do you call them? Explainer videos about animal rights or animal exploitation in Chinese. And he also does like on the street debate. So that was our first funding project. We also are in the process of establishing food standards for vegan food in China, because it's something that people just don't see on products here. So we've been working with a certification body to establish the standards, and we're currently in the process of creating the actual application process so people can apply to be certified as vegan for their products. And here we've got pictures of China Veg Fest. This was a festival that we did, an offline festival that we did last year. So 2021, things were still, we were able to do offline events in China. This year is a bit crazy with Omicron. We weren't able to do anything offline this year. So we're hoping to relaunch China Veg Fest maybe next year. We'll see how that goes. But this was really, it was really exciting. There really aren't a lot of these vegan festivals in China. People have done them before, but they're very kind of small scale. And this one, it attracted a really diverse crowd of people. So we were really excited about that. A lot of families, a lot of non-vegans. We got to connect with a lot of businesses. We got to connect with a lot of animal advocates. We invited an animal rescue to come and do an adoption, kind of like an adoption, I don't know what you call it, but they brought a few animals and people got a chance to meet their dogs and cats. And I think they had a few that got adopted and taken home. The vegan events platform, this is a really exciting thing that we just launched. So we launched, in the last month, we launched 2 really big projects. This is one of them. So we haven't been able to promote it that much because the other one is a big conference. That's what we've been promoting for this whole month. This is, it's an app. It's kind of like Eventbrite or like meetup.com, but it's for vegan events and vegan friendly events. And it's operated through WeChat. So in China, everybody uses WeChat for everything. WeChat, it's a mega app. It's like Facebook and PayPal and the Apple App Store and Instagram all rolled into one. Yeah, people never need to take their wallet anywhere. They do all their payments with WeChat. And people don't really download apps anymore. So this is, if you want to do an app in China, WeChat mini program is the way to go. People will actually use it. So we designed this because one of the problems that we identified is people just can't find each other. It's all, the vegan community in China is very big, but it's very siloed. People only know their local community. They don't really know where everybody is. And they all believe that there are no vegans because it's just so hard to find them. So we made this app so that we could, people could find each other. They could see, they can open the app and see all across the country there are, hundreds of events. Right now, we don't have hundreds in there because we just launched it. But we hope in the future there will be hundreds and thousands of events on there. So this is something really exciting. Something I don't have a picture of is the Ask Mom Q&A column. This is actually the project I'm responsible for. So as the International Communications Coordinator, I write blog posts in English. I do the English website. I do all the English writing stuff. And so anybody who has questions about veganism in China or animal advocacy in China, they can send a question to us via our email address, and I'll do my best to answer. And if I don't know the answer, then I'll find the people who do and publish their answer on the website. And so anybody who has any questions, please, I'll show the email address at the end and you can send me an email. And then last but not least, this is actually coming up in 2 weeks. So we're doing an online summit, bringing together animal advocates, vegan advocates from China and around the world. We're trying to bring together the China vegan advocacy community with the international vegan advocacy community. And people can see each other, hear each other, share ideas, have some fireworks. So that's coming up very soon. If anybody wants any information about that, we're going to be posting registration links for the Zoom sessions very soon. A lot of them will be in English. We're going to be having like live translation. We're going to be having a couple of translators come and actually do the conference interpreting. So we'll be able to do the sessions in English and Chinese. And yeah, and so anybody who wants to know more, you can take a screenshot of this page, our WeChat official account. You can see articles even if you don't have WeChat, but it's kind of hard to operate. So yeah, and then the WeChat mini program, those 2 QR codes are best operated with WeChat. They don't work very well without WeChat. And then we have our official website, email address. We have Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, that's how you can follow up with us if you're interested in collaborating or knowing anything else. Okay, that's my share. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Carrie, for introducing your work with us. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really embarrassed to admit that I didn't know about China Vegan Society until you reached out to us. And I think it was great that you did. I'm so happy that we get to share your work with the rest of our participants today. I think AACA is, I'm glad that AACA was a platform where we could connect each other. So thank you so much for joining us today. And please type in your email and website link to the chat if you like. Thank you. Okay, so next up is group photo. Mimi.
Thank you, Kaho. So now let's all take a group photo. We're not physically right next to each other at this moment, but we'll still love to take some group photos for us to remember this event and commemorate each other's presence today. This may be used for different purposes.
So we have one more music performance today. Next, we have Naka, a vegan singer-songwriter based in Busan, South Korea. Naka was born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, and she is currently running a vegan cafe in Korea and organizing various vegan events there, including Busan Vegan Festival. Through these activities, she has spread the philosophy of veganism far and wide across 2 different countries. Today, we will listen to her newly released song, Resonance. The song is available in both Japanese and Korean, but today we will listen to the Japanese version. Without further ado, Naka, please take it away.
Naka, can you unmute yourself? Please give us 1 second.
Okay. Can you
We
listen?
can hear you now.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Naka. This song was made for you who feel the pain of animals together. I hope we can feel each other, warmth and healing even for a moment while listening to music. We will be each other's light. Thank you. Dissonance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naka. Thank you so much for the performance, Naka. Let's give her a round of jazz hands. Naka, please share your social media handles in the chat so people can find your work. And I hope everyone was able to see the lyrics in Korean and English. It was shared in the chat. If not, you guys can scroll up and find it. Thank you, Naka. That was so beautiful.
So much.
And that brings us near the end of the opening assembly of AACA 2022. We hope you enjoyed this assembly with us. As most of you probably know, Animal Alliance Asia is a not-profit organization, so please consider supporting us by donating. You will help us become more sustainable as an organization to pay for the day-to-day expenses and to hire more paid staff, enabling us to do more educational events like this one in Asia. You can support us via the link being shared in the chat box. Thank you so much for those who have already supported us by donating. We couldn't have made the conference successful without you. And also, please don't forget to support all the work presented today, the speakers, and also the rest in the next few days of this conference as well. We also have a few paid job opportunities opening as well. If you are interested in joining our team to help us reach more people in the wider Asian region, please visit the link in the chat as well. And all of these are available in our website as well.
Thank you, Joseph. Lastly, if you haven't already, please follow us on social media. We will love for you to tag us or mention on social media. Help us spread the word in your community. Share what you have learned with your vegan and activist peers. So those who haven't found out about our conference date will still join us from tomorrow. We would also like to encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter so you can stay up to date with future events from Animal Alliance Asia. So in about 30 minutes from 6 p.m. Hong Kong time, we have our first workshop of AACA 2022 by a climate activist Fitria. And from 8 p.m. Hong Kong time, we had a scheduled workshop by Leila, but unfortunately it has been cancelled due to some unforeseen personal circumstances. So we are very sorry for that. And we will close the room after this assembly. So, but please come back when it's time using the same Zoom link. So let's give a last round of jazz hands to the wonderful musicians and project announcement people, and for all of us here for doing an amazing work to create a compassionate world for all. Thank you and see you in 30 minutes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Please come back in 15 minutes. Thank you.